Well, you can take the Patriots out of New England, but you can't really take the Patriots out of the Patriots. They lose 10-6 in Frankfurt, Germany, to the Indianapolis Colts. That drops their record to 2-8 on the season. Welcome to Post Game Live. Phil Perry is here, Tommy Curran, Ted Johnson. I'm Michael Holley, and there's a lot to unpack here, Phil. What did you see in this game?
Mac Jones throwing an interception with the opportunity to win this game and makes his worst throw of the season. And there are a lot to choose from. But this, given the stakes, given where they're at in the season, given what ownership said before the game, Tom, and given how far he missed. He had about a 13-yard window to loft that ball into. Couldn't do it, picked off, game over, and maybe Mac Jones's career as a Patriot is over.
Yeah, the entire second half, Phil pointed that out. It was a total and complete disintegration by Mac Jones. You had the flip as he was going down. You had the miss to Hunter Henry. You had the drive that went south and then a missed field goal, and then you had that. It might be one of the worst throws I've seen since the Kevin Henry pick.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, back in 1997.
Ted Johnson, this is your life?
Worse. I mean,
Right.
But to have it happen at that juncture with Mac Jones, again in a position to win the game and an open receiver with no pressure, I thought at the moment when it happened, after my body stopped twitching.
Oh, look at that.
That he probably wouldn't be back out, and the fact that he wasn't back out on the field makes me believe that the Patriots will look at another. It makes me believe, not know, but believe, Ted, that the Patriots will look in another direction after the break at quarterback.
I would be surprised if that's not the case, Tom. I mean, guys, just quickly though, both these teams set football back in the UK and Germany 30 years. I mean, that was just aesthetically a tough game to watch, but that pass right there, it's inexplicable. Inexplicable. Yeah. It was a terrible throw. He's throwing off his back foot again. And even when he wasn't even under pressure, and then to have it miss that by that much, crazy. And then to put Bailey Zappi in, I still thought was kind of a fascinating decision, though, in that even though that was a terrible interception, to still go with Bailey Zappi with no timeouts deep in your end zone, to go with him over Mac, I thought was kind of an interesting decision that we'll talk about. But now the bye week comes, now big decisions. My guess is you're going to see a lot of changes in this week.
I just think the level of anger that existed that we earlier in the half saw from Bill O'Brien towards Mac Jones, when that happened, that's why I understood the Bailey Zappi thing. In a vacuum, you could say, geez, Mac, it's the worst I've ever seen. But already pissed at him for 30 minutes of football, and then to have him do that.
Well, great point, Tom. And I want to get you on this, Phil, because we talked about it. It was like one of those old school NBA. For those who saw Wilt Chamberlain, the way he shot free throws, he kind of threw it up there. Rick Barry, too. That was in basketball. But in football, Mac Jones did that. Before the interception, Mac Jones almost eliminated another possession by just throwing the football up there before getting sacked. Almost took points off the board there. So there was that play. There was the Billy O'Brien takedown as he's pointing at the tablet. Something went wrong there from Mac that he didn't like. Then the interception, and probably just the accumulation, Phil, of lots of conversations that they've had about what we can and cannot do, what leads to winning. Here it is, the O'Brien tongue lashing that Mac Jones got, what we can't do, and then they go out and see it. I think this is probably the final straw.
Yeah, my guess is it is too, Michael, because it's about turnovers, and it's about turnovers in critical situations. And now what we're seeing here, this interaction between Bill O'Brien and Mac Jones, that happened directly after the bucket shot incompletion. They're lucky it fell incomplete. But if you just take the sack there, it should be 3 points. Now, I know Chad Ryland missed the field goal, but just take the sack, eat the football. The risk reward there of trying to flip it to your running back in the flat, if it goes 6 more inches higher in the air, that might be a pick six going the other way. Deep in the red zone, points off the board for you, on the board for them, and then to throw that interception, again, down in the red zone, critical situation, end of game, Tom. You can't have it at that position, not even for the coaching staff. How do you feel if you're a teammate in that offensive huddle and you're about to go out there for the 2-minute drill? Even though Bailey Zappi's had no snaps in practice, probably 2-minute work all year long, and he hasn't had any snaps in this game, you probably look at it and say, I'd rather have that guy given what we've just seen from Mac Jones here today.
And the further context, not to belabor the other play, but they had Demario Douglas in a window with the timing correct, clear for a first down. It was a simple pitch and catch, old school Patriots play, and Mac froze up, didn't see it, or decided he wasn't going to throw it, and that's what led to the pressure and then the flip to nowhere, which again, the flip to nowhere, if that happened in a vacuum, you might say, what happened to your brain there? But this was the same stuff that happened against Dallas. So these are error repeaters to the nth degree. And I think interestingly, too, we spent the whole week talking about Bill Belichick, and if it goes really south, will he be in a situation where he doesn't finish the season? All attention now shifts directly to Mac Jones.
Absolutely.
Because they actually put together an offensive game plan, as primitive as it was, that was working.
Yeah, it was working if he just makes the throw. All right, we want you to join the conversation. Who should be the starting quarterback moving forward for the Patriots? Vote in our poll by going to NBCSportsBoston.com/Patriots. Vote or scan the QR code. You see it right there on the screen. And scroll down to the poll. So far, you guys are pissed, and you should be. 80% say Will Grier. You've seen enough of Bailey Zappi. You've seen enough of Mac Jones. Friends and family holding on for Mac Jones. He's at 4%. Everybody else says got to go in a different direction. And Ted, I'll start with you. I mean, listen, what would you do? I mean, you're in that locker room. Your defense gave up 10 points today. You gave up 10 points today for one of the best offenses in football. They've scored over 25 points in every game.
Turnover for them.
Yeah, they're in the top 10 in a lot of categories. Shane Steichen doing a pretty good job with that team. And you see Mac Jones and the quarterbacks do this. What are you thinking when you're in that locker room?
Yeah, you're thinking that if the players could vote right now, I'm guessing most of the players would vote for Will Grier. I think that right now probably trust is lost. I think all confidence in Mac Jones is probably futile right now. And so as it is in Mac Jones, you clearly can see this guy has got zero confidence. That throw, I have to think that throw that he made at the end of the game was probably a lot of what's been happening to him all season long, where his body gets sped up. I mean, he got sacked for a season high 5 times just in the first half. And so whenever he's under duress like that, it's very, very difficult for him to recover and to get his body calmed down and back on track. And so the players have seen enough of this, Michael. And so my feeling is most guys would probably, maybe not outwardly publicly say it, but personally and privately behind the scenes would probably support a quarterback change at this point.
And that's why it's a chicken or the egg discussion. Mac wasn't broken in July of last year before training camp when Bill Belichick talked about an outstanding rookie season and a dramatic improvement in the offseason. He was a good player 14 months ago?
Yeah,
July
that's
of
right.
2022? And now he's the worst quarterback in football. I lay down my arms. He's playing like the worst quarterback in football. So we can have that conversation. 5 sacks in the first half. Does that lead to somebody throwing it like the third string 8-year-old, 8 and under midget quarterback?
It shouldn't, but
it's what it looked like.
Well, and listen, they came in
There it
the
is.
game.
Here it is again. Look at this. Oh, no, that's another one. That's another one that could have been picked up. We forgot about that one.
Should have been picked. And do we have the
Here's a shot of Robert Kraft in the puffy. Here it is.
Sad and puffy.
oh yeah.
All right.
Look at Danny on the left too. He's
And the puppy makes it funnier. I don't know about you guys.
Is that when the realization sets in, if you're Robert Kraft? Oh, we can't have this. We can't continue.
They're both
broken.
broken.
I would have loved to see the Robert Kraft reaction after the interception. Guys, he threw the ball 20 times in this game. That's a borderline NFL offensive game plan. That's not how the league works now. 20 passes to 36 runs for the Patriots. They took the ball out of his hands to start the game. They were 8 runs out of 12 plays to start the game. Drove the field, kicked a field goal because they can't throw it in the end zone. They can't execute down inside the red zone. I have no idea what Rich Eisen was talking about, what number he was referencing when he called Mac Jones one of the best red zone quarterbacks in football. Maybe in terms of their touchdown percentage, they are relatively
But they don't get there that often.
They don't get there. And we saw today what happens when a critical situation pops up and you ask this offense to make a play. They can't do it.
That's the thing quickly, Michael.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you run the ball as much as the Patriots did, especially, and they had a long drive. I think just open the second half, they had a drive in which they ran 10 out of the 13 plays. That also signals to the quarterback they have no trust in me. right? If I got to be sitting here handing the ball, handing it off, and they kept saying in the broadcast, well, Mac Jones said in the production meeting that he really wants to run the ball more. Yeah, not really. He'd rather really throw more. But whenever they run that much, you guys, it's a clear signal to the quarterback that we don't trust you either. So compound all that's gone on in the offseason, last year, the sacks, the first half, and you have a second half like you have.
Tommy Curran, I know you play a lot of golf. I don't know if he wants to throw more. I think he wants to throw until he gets to the red zone. The golf, it's those golfers don't want to putt.
Yeah.
Don't want to putt. Hey, listen, I'd like a hole-in-one. Can I get a hole-in-one? Because when I get close, I just can't figure out a way. It's almost as if he's scared. It looks like he's scared in those situations. And the change of scenery was good for the Patriots. The change of scenery was not good for Mac Jones. Not only is he the worst quarterback in football, Tom Curran, he's the worst quarterback in Germany. He was the worst quarterback in Germany today because he was worse than Gardner Minshew. He was worse than Bailey Zappi, even though Zappi had that interception at the end. I wonder what's going to happen. What's going to happen with this bye? Like, how do they have time, Phil?
You've got time now. And this goes back to what we talked about
reorganize.
In the pre-game show. Maybe this gives you the time you need to assess Will Grier, Bailey Zappi. If I'm the Patriots, I would want to see what Will Grier can do. What I've been told is he just doesn't get enough snaps in practice for really anybody to know what he can do consistently. So give him that opportunity now and just see what you have.